Here's an awesome lead guitar trick that you can use to create really great sounding lead guitar stuff that instantly will make any song that you're using this on sound better and sound more emotional, and it's awesome. So let's just dive right into it. All right, first things first, you have to know what key you're in. So we're gonna do this in 2 keys today. First of all, we're gonna do the key of G, and we're gonna use our regular G chord, we're gonna use a D chord, we're gonna use E minor, and then we're gonna use a C. Now, take those chords, create a chord progression. Knowing what key you're in is going to be key because we need to know where we can find the notes of the scale for that key. So if I'm in the key of G, I need to at least know like my G major scale. Once you have the notes of that scale, here's the cool thing that you're gonna do. Rather than creating something different sounding for every single chord of that chord progression, we're going to take a very short phrase, like 3 notes, and we're just gonna repeat it. We're gonna loop it, okay? So for example, I'm in G, right? So the 3 notes I'm gonna do, let's see, we could do that, we could go. Let's just do that. Keep it really simple. So that is a G note, an F sharp note, and an E note. So I'm just playing those 3 notes. So now, here's the cool part, and this is awesome to do if you have a friend who also plays guitar, or if you can record yourself. Now I'm just using a looper that's on my Kemper, but you could record yourself on your phone or something like that, just playing the chord progression, and then go back over the top and play this lead stuff on top of it. So check this out. So once I have the chord progression going, I'm just gonna play those 3 notes. Now that sounds totally cool, right? Because here's the trick. If I take a chord progression like that, which I'm playing it in 4/4 time, so there's we can break the measure into 16th notes or 8th notes or whatever it is, but everything is basically based around 4. But what I'm playing is a group of 3 notes. And so here's the cool thing about that. As each chord comes around, the note that I'm playing, when it comes around again, I'm not going to be playing the same note. I'm going to be playing something else, and that's going to give us a totally different sound. But here's the other cool thing. If I'm playing the G, the F sharp, and the E over my G chord, when I play it over my D chord, and then over the E minor chord, and the C chord, those 3 notes will have a different sound or a different function in how that note relates to the chord that's being played. And that way, we can start to create some really cool sounding stuff. Now here's the cool thing about this. I will do this with guitar groups all the time in class, where I'll have them pick a chord progression, we'll start playing a chord progression, and then I'll show them some note options and get them just playing some simple repeated phrases. Right, which there I chose G, F sharp, and E, which is the 1, the 7, and the 6 of that key, right? But here's the cool thing. You can pick other stuff too. So what if we do this instead? What if I pick D and E and then G? And I do that. Right? Let's see how that sounds. This is a really great way to create some really cool sounding lead stuff, and how you keep it the same over different chord changes the function of whatever notes that you're playing and makes it sound really cool. This gets used a lot in alternative and emo stuff and like Dashboard Confessional and things like that. And here's an example of a song that an old band of mine did where I used this for the basis of the lead guitar part. So in this song, it's called Easy For You. It was written by our bass player, Zach Lee. This song is in the key of E major or C sharp minor. You could think of it either way, right? But here's the trick. The main chord progression is C sharp minor, down to an A, down to an E, and then a B. And that repeats. So knowing that, the lick that I came up with for the solo stuff, for the lead guitar stuff, for the chorus, was to play... But that was the basis of it, was using that kind of repeating 3-note lick, and it sounded really, really cool. Now, you want another example where this gets used? I was just listening to Mumford Sons today. I was listening to Tompkins Square Park. Now, in this song, the main chorus chord progression is a B flat major, D minor, and then C major. But they have this cool little 4-note lick that gets repeated throughout it, and it's kind of the main thing. Builds up to it at the end. It sounds awesome. So let me give you an example of how that sounds. So you can see how even with a 3-chord chord progression like that, taking 4 different notes and just playing them over and over, and you're playing the same thing, but you're playing the same notes over different chords, which means those notes have a different relationship to that chord, so they function differently, gives it a totally different feel. Now, this is one of the coolest things when I've had people be like, hey, I want to write cool lead guitar stuff. This is like one of the coolest tricks in the bag, is to be able to pull stuff like this out and create these cool repeating licks that are memorable, that sound awesome, and they make it way more emotional. So go have fun with it. Maybe try writing a song and using this to create the lead guitar part for it, or try it over a song that you know and come up with your own lead guitar stuff. But like I said, you have to know what key you're in, and if you know what chords are being used, that's cool. You need to be able to at least find some notes that sound good for that key. If you know the scale, that's awesome. If all else fails, just look for something that sounds good. That's really it. Now, if you liked this and you want some great chords that you can use to write songs, to create some cool sounding stuff, and use this idea over it, go check out this lesson on how to learn these chords that are chords that you should learn before learning bar chords. I've called them ice cream chords in the past. They're really great sounding chords. They're really easy to play too, and so they sound awesome, and so they work really great in the key of E or the key of C sharp minor using this really cool lead guitar repeating note idea. So go check out that lesson on those chords, and I will see you over there in that video.